Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, respected panelists, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Very good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Since this is my first time to take the chair, to take the stage, allow me to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation to be invited as one of the panelists of today's conference, and would like to share a little bit on what Indonesia has in mind on the resource mobilizations in the context of South-South and triangular cooperations. As Indonesia is also one of the founding members of PPD since 1994, I observe myself how big development has been improved, not only impact to the members, but also to the global community as a whole. In front of me, there are some questions posed on how we should work together, on how we should mobilize the political leaders, philanthropists, private sectors, both in North and South countries, in order to sustain the agenda of 2030 that require the strategic approach. It is not easy to convince the political leaders, philanthropists, private sectors, but there are some elements that we could see and try to learn, while at the same time we could also share each other experience. One is the highlights for the success story, and also the benefits of the SSTC initiative that could already contribute to the achieving development goals. We see that the SSTC has resulted in tangible improvements in many sectors, for example, in healthcare, education, gender equality, as well as other concrete measures and programs that has practical impact of the SSTC. Secondly, we have to have the advocacy policy. Advocate for the policy support that encourage political leaders and incorporate to the SSTC into the national development strategies and policies. It is important on how SSTC could be implemented in the complementary policy in a traditional North and South cooperation by the leveraging the comparative advantages of the southern countries in areas such as technology transfers, knowledge sharing, and cultural exchange. The third element that I should also like to underline is we have to create funding mechanism. Philanthropists and private sectors can be mobilized by establishing a dedicated funding mechanism or investment that really support the SSTC initiative. We have to highlight the potential for innovative partnership that combine philanthropy contributions with private sectors and expertise to scale up the SSTC project. Of course, for the case of Indonesia, we cannot work alone. We have to promote partnership and network. We have to facilitate the partnership between northern and southern countries, philanthropist organizations, and private sector's entities. So encourage the formation of networks that promote collaboration of the specific ADCs-related challenges. And also, we have to foster dialogue, knowledge, and exchange among stakeholders in SSTCs. The other question is how sustainability of the policy that we could propose for this kind of political junctures, which is one element we should also underline the the importance of raising awareness and foster commitment. So organize awareness raising campaign and event that emphasize the important SSTC in achieving global development goals, and also exchange stakeholders through conferences, workshops, and media campaign. The other question that posed to me today is how can PPD and UNFPA collaborate to effectively mobilize resources from emerging economies by focusing on several key strategies. I don't want to provide a prescription, but I observe some have been done quite strategically. One is the strategic alignment of goals between PPD and UNFPA that should align the goals and priorities, particularly in areas related to population and development issues. Secondly, joint advocacy and outreach. Together, PPD and UNFPA can engage in joint advocacy efforts aiming at raising awareness among governments, private sector entities, and philanthropist organizations in emerging economies about the importance of investing in population and development issues. Capacity building and technical assistance is another area that we can collaborate to provide the more technical assistance to emerging economies. Indonesia is one of the countries in PPD that are ready to engage and to work together, as maybe has been elaborated to my colleague yesterday on the program and policy that has been implemented by Indonesia so far in engaging with other PPD and UNFPA members and countries. The other element is innovative and financing mechanism. So it is important to develop mechanism tailored in the context of emerging economies. The third question that we receive for today's presentation is what strategies to develop structural approach to South-South and gathering resource mobilization for development in the South countries. Of course, developing a structured approach for South-South triangular cooperation with its countries or regional development communities requires strategic planning and implementation. In my observation, here are the keys that can be implemented. One is policy framework development. So establishing a clear policies that can develop a policy framework that define the objective, principle, and priorities of SSTC within the country or regional bloc. We have to ensure the alignment with national development plans and regional integrate the agenda. And of course, it needs a legal and regulatory support in implementing this. The second one is institutional strengthening. So capacity building to strengthen the institution is very important because it's responsible for coordinating and implementing SSTC initiative. The third one is how we could map of resources that is important so we can identify the partners. In terms of Indonesia's experience, resource assessment is very important. We have conducted several exercises in gathering the capacities and also aligning with the interests of our countries and the interests for combining the development of others SSTC initiative as well as the members. Partner identification is another challenge. We have to identify the potential partners within the countries or region that can really participate in the development. Allow me also to share with you what is the Indonesia's initiative that has been conducted since 2019. Indonesia has organized more than 1,000 SSTC programs with 13,000 participants from Asia, Pacific, Africa, Middle East, South America, Caribbean, Eastern Europe, and Central European regions. The funding mechanism that we established in 2019 is by establishing what we call the Indonesian Aid. Indonesian Agency for International Development has been established to manage the Indonesian aid. So this is also not only extending the capacity of Indonesia in working together with the member countries to conduct the capacity building, but even beyond the capacity building itself, such as assisting other countries with grants, infrastructure development, good or product procurements, scholarship, and humanitarian aid. The other important element that we see based on our experience is how we should establish what we call the monitoring and evaluation. So by establishing or develop a robust monitoring and evaluation framework, it is important to assess the progress and the impact of SSTC initiative. So we have to define the clear indicators, collect the relevant data, and conduct periodic evaluation. And of course, we also have to learn and to adapt, because monitoring and evaluation itself really based on the best practices that we learn from every program that we implemented, and also lesson learned from other countries. The other element that we pose in today's question is how and what methodology to facilitate the technical assistance through South-South and triangular countries, which is what we need is a structured methodology that really ensure the efficient collaboration and sustainable outcome. There are some elements that I should like to underline here. First, of course, mapping need and capacity. Conduct a comprehensive need and assessment in recipient countries to identify specific technical assistance. It is also very important requirements because it involves a consulting with the government agencies, local communities, and relevant stakeholders to understand the priority sectors and also challenges that they pose. And of course, the capacity to assess the existing resources within the recipient countries that could contribute to the benefit of SSTC initiative. And partner identification and matchmaking is also another challenge. With Indonesian aid, we have to identify the donors and intermediate countries that can really working together in building the resources, and also that can facilitate the connection and coordination of the SSTC initiative. The challenge in matchmaking with the third party is also another one, because we have to facilitate partnership and collaboration between the recipient countries, donor countries, and intermediaries through bilateral as well as multilateral platform. This may involve leveraging existing networks, such as those managed by regional organizations. We have mechanisms in Southeast Asia, like what we have in ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations, and also International Development Agency and donor consortia. The other implementation is also by building a technical assistance. With the Indonesian aid, we have built a different kind of technical program and capacities, as maybe has been elaborated by our delegation yesterday, that in 2023 itself, there are some capacity building or technical assistance has been conducted. First, for example, SSTC training on strategic partnership with Muslim religious leaders in reproductive health, family planning, prevention of gender-biased violence, child marriage, and stunting reduction for Asian regions. Joining participants from Burundi, Ethiopia, Myanmar, Nepal, and Malaysia. The other one is SSTC training on reproductive health, family planning, adolescent reproductive health, and also preventing gender bias. Participated by the Philippines. Capacity building on maternal health, children, and family welfare program, joined by 20 participants from Kenya. And capacity building for India, held in Jakarta on the topic of single road implant contraceptive technology. And of course,
His Excellency will be rounding off soon.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
We have to build knowledge management and dissemination, which is last of the sharing knowledge-based systematic approach. So that's all that we would like to share in this very important conference. Once again, I want to join with my previous speakers to applaud UNFPA and PPD, and also the government of Bangladesh on making this sharing session possible. And thank you all. We wish you a successful and productive conference. Thank you.